So to make the footwear we are seeing on the screen, we are going to be using Mako 6mm as our insoles. So this is my template. I'm going to use it to mark out the shape of the insoles. So after marking them out, the next thing is to cut them into shape. These places I marked exactly are the places that are going to face up. Then the next thing we're going to do is to sand the edges to make sure they are uniform and make sure it is smooth. So wrap your sandpaper around your brush, then use it to smooth the edges. Then this device is a compass, and this is the set, so you can get it in the market. It's for architectures. So once you get this tool, get your normal welt, then set it to the width of that welt. The normal welt is about 0.2 0.3 inch. So if you don't have a welt close, you can just measure 0.2 or 0.3. So I have set it to the width of the welt. So right now we're going to use it to create our own welt from Mako, same Mako 6mm. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that measurement to create a line on the Mako, and then after that I'm going to use my knife to cut along the line, and with that I'll have my welt ready. So because the length of this Mako I'm using is too short, I'm going to do this into 4 places. That is 2 for one side of the foot. So it is going to be into 4, which means I'm going to repeat this process into 4 places. If I have a Mako that will give me a normal length of welt, there is no need of cutting them into 4 places. So for me to be able to get the welt that will go around the insoles, I have to repeat it into 4. You understand what I mean? So this is the 4. I added 1 extra in case I have shortage along the line. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to arrange the 5 of them together and then use my masking tape to fasten them together at the edge here. What this is going to do, it is going to help me, it is going to save my time. I'm going to spread my gum on the 5 of them at once, so it will save me time and stress. So after applying gum on the welt, I'm going to apply gum on the edges of the insoles. So you have to allow the gum to activate. Then once the gum has activated, this is what you're going to do next. I'm going to welt the top of the insoles. So watch closely to see what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start from the center here, and you see how I'm holding my insole. So and then you follow it through the edges of the insoles until you go round. So you see where the first one stopped at, so I have to pick the second one and then start from where it stopped. So once you have gotten to the other edge, you cut off the excess slightly after the first edge, then bend it over, then fit it in. So we are done with this. That's the same process you're going to use to weld the other side of the sole. So now the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to use my razor blade. I'm going to slantly remove the sharp edge round. So you see I'm bending my razor blade towards the outside. So I'm going to go around like that until I have removed the sharp edges. So you have to carefully do this. So I'm done doing that. We are going to proceed to the next step. Now pick your rough sandpaper and then you're going to use it to smooth that curve. You understand? So you smooth the curve round. What this is going to do, it is going to make it uniform and also give you that cup shape. So you do it that way round until you get the result. Make sure you have a uniform surface on that welt. So I'm done doing that. This is what I have. So we are going to proceed. So you apply gum around the inside and then on your leather for folding. So right now I'm going to place this. So where I apply the gum is on the welt and also within the edges. Now pick your rag, use it to form those curves. You understand what I mean? You see what I'm doing? So use it to form those curves. And after that, the next thing you're going to do is pick something like a pencil, use the bottom, then go through those edges to make sure the leather is taking the shape. So now we're going to apply gum at the back. So you watch to see how I'm going to apply the glue. So you're going to make sure that the glue touches the edge. You see where my brush is going, the edges. Make sure that the gum, you see the edges here. Make sure you apply glue to those edges. It is very important. So now the gum is set for bonding. Now I'm going to cut off the excess leathers so that we'll have a small part to fold. So after removing the excess leather, the next thing is to start folding. After you're folding, you cut off or cut down the crease at the back of the folding with your razor blade. So this is another Mako. This is 8mm Mako. So I'm going to use my sandpaper to roughen the surface so that I will have a very good bonding. It is Mako 8mm. So I'm going to place my insoles on it and then mark out the shape. Remember, make sure you have allowance on all the sides because of the welt. So after doing that, the next thing we're going to do is to apply gum around the outlines because that is where the welt is going to sit on. So now pick your welt, bond the two of them together with your masking tape, and then use your sandpaper to roughen the surface. It is going to help the bonding. And then after doing that, the next thing is to apply your glue. So now the gum has activated. It is time to weld. Replace the insole back to the outline. Then use nails to hold it at the center, just a little bit away from the center. Don't put it at the front so that it won't be visible. Then put one at the back here. So the reason you have to do this is because you don't like to have the insole moving while you are welding. So now I'm going to start my welding from the back. So start from here and then we go round. So once you have gotten to the other edge, remove the insole, then cut slightly after the first edge. Cut slightly after the first edge, and then you bend it a little bit and then you lock it. So with that, you are done. You repeat the same process on the other side of the foot. So after welding, the next thing we are going to do is to cut off the excess material. So this is our major sole. This is our main sole. Understand, our main sole material. I'm going to brush the surface also with my sandpaper. That is a rough sandpaper. So now we're going to gum this to the main sole. The reason we didn't just gum the marco to the main sole before welding is just to make the whole work easier. If you gum these two materials together before welding, cutting them out will be very difficult. So you weld on the marco 8mm, and then after welding you gum it to the main sole. It is a little more easier and less stressful. So the gum is set for bonding, so we bond the marco to our main sole. This material for our main sole is called Kano Nora. I think that's what most people call it, Kano Nora, you understand? So it's about 6mm. So after gumming it to the marco, you cut off the excess. The next thing is to grind the edges and smooth it. So let's proceed. Now for the pattern, I'm going to make this a very simple pattern. Draw a straight line on your cardboard paper, and then you are going to measure 4.5 inches away from that straight line. 4.5 inches. So you take the measurement into two places. I've always told us the reason why you have to do this, so that you will be able to get a straight line. Understand? That is why you have to take the measurement into two places. So you simply put your ruler on that two measurements and then you take your line. So remember what we measured, 4.5 inches, that is 4.5 inches. So now we're going to cut it into shape. So after cutting it into shape, you fold it into two equal parts. Fold it into two equal parts. Now the next thing you're going to be doing is just cut off some part here on this angle, understand? So slant it, you see, at the bottom here, then cut this part out. So after doing that, you're going to take a measurement from the edge here to somewhere here, half inch measurement. So you see from here to here, half inch. You see where I took the measurement from, half inch. You see it from here to here, half inch. So now we are going to join that measurement. We're going to join it to this angle here. So you see what I did there, from here to this point. So we just want the front to look a little bit, curvy, not too straight, though it is not going to be too noticeable. So that's why I'm doing this. If you want yours to have a curve, a very noticeable curve at the front, you know what to do. So with that, we have our pattern. So now remember, punch a hole at the center. It is going to help you during your lasting. Then mark the pattern facing. So this is our foam. This foam is actually about 2 mm. It is a little bit too small in the millimeters, but I'm going to use it regardless. So place the pattern template on the foam and then mark out. In this case, I'm using a chalk. You understand? I'm using a chalk, as you can see, to mark. So after marking out, you cut the markouts into shape. So this is what you're going to have after you must have cut them into shape. You see it. Let's proceed. Then this is the leather for our upper. You mark out same shape on your leather. You see I have allowance at the top. So remember, you have to leave allowance both at the top and below. And also remember this principle about our pattern. After marking, you turn for the other side of the foot. Hope you remember. So now we're going to cut this a little bit into shape. You see allowance here, you see allowance here, and I'm having allowance below here. So remember to do that. So I'm going to apply my glue within the diagram. That's within. You understand? It is not going to exceed the lines. So after that, you have to also apply gum on your foam. So now the gum is set. You have to gum the foam within that marked out area. You understand? You have to gum it within that shape. So now I'm going to separate the both of them. Remember to leave the allowance on both sides. So I'm going to cut off this excess and then cut off this excess here. Now the next thing to do, you place your tape this way, then you measure half inch away from each other, half inch. You can decide to have your lines a little more bigger than this. You understand, it is not compulsory that it has to be half inch, but what I'm using is half inch. So place your ruler on each measurement and then draw a line. So you can see what I have here. Now this is my landing. Make sure your landing is a little bit bigger than the main pattern. So I'm going to take it this way to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew the lines one after the other. So I have done that. You see, remember to stop on the edge. You see it, remember to stop on the edge. You see where it stopped. So remember that. Then you cut off the excess lining. So now we are done with the first step. Now we're going to draw a line. You see here we marked is going to be on the medial side, so the line is coming this way. You understand? So the next line that is going to cross the horizontal is going to go the other way. So now what I'm going to do, you place your ruler at the center and then take the line at your own discretion. So you can determine the space of your lines just to make sure they are uniform. That's the important thing. So I'm done. So you see where the lines are going, you see they are chamfer. So we stitch along the lines too, you see it. So this is the result. So right now we're going to fold. I used my zigzag scissors to cut the edges so that they will look more fancy, understand? So we're going to fold this in. So let's apply our glue on the edge. Make sure you don't spill excess gum. Make sure where you are applying your glue will not be visible after you must have folded. So you need to be very careful, you understand? So you see what I mean? You see where the glue stopped at? I don't want it to be visible after I must have folded. So once the gum is dry, you fold carefully. You fold carefully. So the pattern, our upper is ready. The ripples were not really too evident because the foam we used were a bit, too low on the So now the next thing is to last the pattern. So if you want to have the ripples to be more visible, you can use a foam that is at least 4 mm or 6 mm. You understand what I mean? So this is what we have. Let's proceed. So it is time to couple. So this is what we arrived at finally. It is simple. Just follow the same process and you are going to arrive at the same result. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will get updates as soon as a new video drops. If you need the template I used to create the sole, it is available in PDF. If you're among the people that find it difficult to create their own templates, I mean soles templates, I have a PDF file for ladies soles templates. There are 25 copies, different shapes from size 38 to 42. Then it is coming with welted and unwelted. That is for ladies. Then for men, welted soles from size 41 to size 46. It is also coming with 7 free pattern templates. The reason I created these PDF files is to make things easier for beginners so that they can start making money even while they are learning. If you need the female templates, there are 25 copies. The price is 2,450 naira only, and for the men it is just 2,000 naira with 7 free pattern templates. If you are interested, make payment to the account number you are seeing on your screen right now, and also send proof of payment to the WhatsApp number under the account number. Once you have done that, I'm going to send you the PDF. If you have also not seen the video on how to make use of the PDF file, click on this first video on your screen. Have a nice day and see you in my next video.